Good morning and welcome to the vlog. My name is Kristi. We are taking the woo-woo out of manifesting. It is my goal to be an example to you that the law of assumption is life-changing. It is not a mysterious thing to use, and it is not a spiritual practice if you don't want to make it a spiritual practice. On this channel, we cover topics that are an important focus in my life, and that includes health, wealth, and relationships, all approached from the lens of the law of assumption. So I thank you for being here, and stick around if you want to see more about using the law of assumption in real life scenarios. Hello, I just got ready. My hair is a little bit curly today. I am coming at you to just chat really briefly. I've got like 5 minutes before I need to leave to go to orchestra rehearsal. But remember how I told you that Pookie and I were in no contact and I wanted to be his friend, but that I was basically like putting all of that in his hands. Like, I don't want to drive any of that. I want that all to just come to me because of who I inherently am. And he asked me to go to dinner with him this week. So I'm gonna have a friend date with Pookie this week. And I'm going on a date with Boo Bear tomorrow. He's taking me to his favorite steakhouse. Things are always just working behind the scenes to benefit you in whatever ways that you want, as long as you're not sitting there thinking against that all the time. I just am resting in confidence in the fact that I'm amazing. Obviously, the things that I want are gonna come to me because it's good for me to have them, and it's good for other people for me to have them. The things that I want. I'm about to run out to go to orchestra, but I just wanted to give you that little update because it happened a little bit ago, and I'm excited to have my friend date with Pookie and see how that goes. So I will tell you all about it once it's over. Good morning. It is Wednesday morning and I have updates for you, and also we need to chat manifesting for this vlog. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do my morning lumen. So I had a friend date with Pookie and I had a date with Boo Bear since we last spoke, so I have to update you on those. Today is a gym day, so after we do our lumen and all of that, I need to put together my pre-workout. It's also a terzepatide shot day, so I'll do that with you as well. So let's check in with the lumen. Check in on my body this morning, turn on my lumen. There we go. I'm gonna double tag it. Pre-workout. Let's go. All right.
Hold your breath. Exhale in 3, 2, 1.
All right, let's see what lumen number we get this morning. We have 2, which is fat burn this morning, which is great. All right, so let me get my shot materials together and update you while we do that. Let's chat about my friend date with Pookie first. So Pookie asked me if I wanted to hang out and grab some dinner. So I was like, yeah, I think I'm ready for that. So if you aren't caught up on the backstory, Pookie and I dated for about 6 months. And I broke up with him around, when would that have been? Mid-November, because I just wasn't getting the time that I wanted out of a relationship. So he said that he was really busy. I said, that's fine. Not for me though. So I broke up with him. We had a really close relationship. I cared about him a lot, still care about him a lot. And our relationship was really important to me. And so I decided in terms of like, how do I want to set my mind for this, right? Like manifesting principles 101. What is the outcome that I want here? Even though we had a great relationship and I really cared about him, he wasn't, like, I could tell he couldn't give me everything that I really want out of a relationship without me having to do some really serious interior, like, mind focus and energy on getting the things I want. Like, he's not prepackaged to give me what I want. And so I had to decide, like, well, do I want to package him, or do I want to just say it was a great relationship while we had it, and that'll be that, right? So I ultimately decided I don't think that I want to, from a manifesting mindset perspective, I don't think that I want to try and manifest him. I would rather focus on having a sustainable friendship with him than trying to manifest like a specific romantic outcome. Also, along with that, I have a self-concept that if a man fumbles me, he regrets it kind of forever. Like, it will haunt him forever. And that is just my own little dark feminine spice that I like to put on my manifestations. Like, if you fumble me and you hurt me, like, you're not gonna get to be happy about that. Like, you hurt me, you don't get to be happy. Are you kidding me? I don't have any specific desires tied to that, all right? Like, I'm not manifesting in my head that he's single for the rest of his life or that he, you know, doesn't find love or anything like that. Like, no, it's just a matter of like, in his mind, he knows that he lost a real one and it's gonna bug him forever. He is never gonna get over me. Everything that I'm observing out here in my reality related to Pookie, it's all actually perfect. Even though hanging out with him had moments of bittersweet feelings, like I did feel sad. I was confronted with the loss, right? In my face, confronted with the loss. And so was he. We had a lot of discussions about like, sadness about it. And I know he still cares about me. I still care about him. I know that he misses me. I miss him. But for right now, friendship is it. That's fine. Forever? I don't know. And again, I'm not tied to a specific outcome with Pookie, but I do value his friendship very much, and so I want to preserve that. I do not try and be friends with all my exes. In fact, I'm friends with none of my exes, and that's for various reasons. But with Pookie, I feel like I did a good job of not allowing the relationship to devolve to a point where we hate each other or I hate him because I felt so neglected, right? Like I saw what was happening in front of me. I saw that it did not align with my self-concept. And if something doesn't align with my self-concept, I don't participate in it. That's who I am now. That is not who I always was. So these are all things that you can take into your perspective about your romantic life if you're not satisfied with it. So we had a nice dinner. We had a nice like text message debriefing about dinner. Like, hey, I thought we did some good things here. How are you feeling? He's also going through some rough things, like pretty rough things in his personal life. And I have to respect that. He very sweetly brought me some chocolates, which I love chocolate, and these are fun, fancy chocolates from like a winery that he went to not too long ago. So he brought those with him for me, which I thought was very sweet. And yeah, all in all, things are working out well for me and Pookie in terms of what I want to get out of that relationship. In my mind, the outcome is that I get to keep the friendship and he won't be getting over me anytime soon. People think you always have to have like love and light. That's so spiritual woo-woo. I fucking hate that. You can manifest anything, whether it is nice or naughty, and you can just look at literally any of the dictators in history that committed terrible genocides. They wanted it and they got it. So you don't always have to manifest nicely. And I do like to embrace my dark feminine streak of like, that's fine, you can fumble me, I will move on, I will not force myself into your life, but you will regret it forever. It can't be helped. I'm gonna take my tirzepatide shot now. I have prepared it. I'm going to go ahead and take that. So I'll be right back. I feel like I should also mention, I'm not doing anything in my 3D reality to sabotage anything in his life, right? Like this is all just ideas that I entertain in my mind, and our minds are incredibly powerful. You do not have to do anything out here for things to work out the way you want them to. I'm not actively trying to make anything in his life difficult. Not trying to do that. In fact, I'm removing myself to make his life less difficult and less complex, and to give myself the option to like date the kind of men that are prepackaged to give me what I want. So don't get the idea that like, just because he's not off the hook, I'm not actually out here doing anything about that idea. These are just ideas that I have in my head. Okay, so date with Boo Bear last night went great. I like to get fancied up for dates. I know I haven't really like showed you that on the vlog. If that's something that you want to see, like my date fits or anything, let me know. But last night we were at we were walking into the restaurant and like getting to where we were gonna go for our table. And this sweet little old lady like stopped us and was like, excuse me, you look stunning. And then she turned to Boo Bear and she was like, if you don't tell her that she looks beautiful at least 10 times tonight, and then she looked back at me, you should leave him. And I was like, all right, elderly lady, I want to be that elderly lady. Zero fucks given. Yeah, so we went out to dinner last night. He picked me up, went totally out of his way to do that. BT dubs. He lives like 5 minutes away from the restaurant that he took me to, and he drove 25 minutes to my house to pick me up, to drive back to the restaurant, and then took me home at the end of the date. This is our 4th date. Oh, he knows I'm a musician. He knows I'm in a symphony orchestra, and he bought a ticket to our concert. Our next concert is in the beginning of March, and he bought a ticket to the concert, and it's not even mid-January yet, but he is ticking every single box in terms of how I want to be treated. And I love that for me because it is just reinforcing in my brain that I don't have to do anything special to be treated this way. Like, who I am naturally inspires this. These are affirmations that I've been working on for the better part of the last almost 4 years that I've been practicing law of assumption. I want to naturally inspire the treatment that I want from my partner. I don't want to have to force it out of them or jump through any big hoops. Like, I want to be the person naturally who inspires that. And I am now. I wasn't always. I used to have to, or I thought I used to have to fight to get anything that I wanted in a relationship. And that was just a sign of like my scarcity mindset about available partners and my low self-esteem. And I have worked on my self-concept, my self-esteem, my self-worth and value every day over the last almost 4 years. And it's showing up every time something changes in my life. I am seeing glimpses of the new ideas, right? Like, it's not like everything was the same and now it's all of a sudden changing. It's been a slow evolution of like, things are getting better and better. That's fine. My finances, my health, my relationships, all of it is just unraveling better and better. And it's great because now like I can see that all of the affirmations that I have had in my mind and writing down and listening and reaffirming to myself over the years, those are becoming dominant. And you can tell because things in your 3D reality will effortlessly be the way you want them to. It may not feel like that if you're in the beginning stages. You may feel like, I'm saying all these things and people are still treating me a certain way. I understand that. You have to decide that the new self-concept will or will not tolerate certain things. And before that becomes dominant, your brain is still going to be showing you old beliefs. It's still going to be taking in the sensory information, filtering it through the reticular activating system according to your old beliefs. If the new affirmations and beliefs are not dominant yet, it's still going to be filtering at you through the lens of the old beliefs. You have to stay consistent with your preferred outcome, your preferred self-concept, and your brain will adapt and your reality will change. You don't participate in whatever things that don't align with the new values, your brain's going to be like, oh, so we aren't actually participating in that anymore. Okay, so we do actually deserve better than that because we're not showing up in the same way. And this will get easier and easier. I would say the hardest part for me when manifesting, when like sticking with the new beliefs, is probably the first 2 years. And that may sound like a long time, but in the scheme of your life, it's not. And it's not like things weren't changing at all in those 2 years, but there was a curve before those thoughts in me became dominant. Will it take you 2 years? I don't know. It's you, right? It depends on how deeply ingrained your old beliefs are and how in love with those beliefs are you. I mean, when I tell you that I was in a codependent relationship with a likely alcoholic, I was the worst I have ever seen myself in a relationship. Like, I was unhinged and miserable and like wanting to lay down in the street and die because of how inconsistent and just emotionally destructive this relationship was. This new person that I am, that's getting all the princess treatment, that is doing all of this effortlessly, is the result of disciplining my daily thoughts in favor of what I would rather experience. So if this is what you want, that's how you have to approach it. You have to decide that you are not victim to your thoughts. You have to decide that no matter what you see out here, that is no longer proof of who you are and what you get. There's no permission you have to get from God or the universe. Your brain is designed to manifest for you. The reticular activating system is a filter that is composed of your deepest beliefs. And all the sensory information that comes in, text messages, phone calls, interactions, sights, sounds, touch, everything that is coming into your mind is filtered according to your beliefs. And once you change your beliefs, you will be unable to see things any other way. You have to persist. This is why we have to persist. It's because it's literally how the brain works. There is no mysticism to it. There is no question. If you persist, it will change, which is perfect. These are the Peachy Ink pre-workout pods. I'm obsessed with these. These are like God's greatest pre-workout invention ever. Let's do blueberry today. All right, so I got my pre-workout. I'm also gonna have one of these Built Puff bars. This is the coconut flavor. It tastes like a Mounds bar to me, which is really good. I like it a lot. Today is not a push-up day. If you have been following on previous vlogs, I've been sharing my push-up challenge with you. Today's not a push-up day, so I'm not gonna take you to the gym with me, but I am gonna go, so. It is Wednesday evening, and I just took a shower. Oh, that sounded real southern. Which I am from Tennessee. I am about to do my nighttime skincare and do some journaling, and I thought I would take you with me and just kind of talk some manifesting stuff while I do my nighttime skincare. So I wanted to talk about the question about whether or not manifesting is manipulation of other people in your reality. I think there's a pretty strong common thought that that is the case. CosRX snail mucin here. I don't think that way. I think that going out into your 3D reality and manipulating it is manipulating it, right? Like, if you try and manipulate the people in your life by the things that you say to them, by the actions that you take, then I think that that's manipulation, definitely. If you think thoughts in your head that are favorable towards what you want and supportive of a self-concept that can have it, I don't think you're manipulating anyone. The only person who is experiencing your reality is you. Oh shoot, I wanted to do my chemical peel. I already put my snail essence on. We'll do the chemical peel and we'll just reapply the snail mucin. So anyway, if you are simply thinking thoughts, it's a hard argument in my mind to say that you are manipulating anyone. I just started using these again. I had taken like several months off of using them. These are the Dennis Gross Universal Daily Peel. They are really effective, but getting used to them again is a little bit of a curve because I haven't been using a peel on my face in a long time. Anyways, so what my thoughts related to Pookie, for example, you know, is that I have a belief about myself that if anybody fumbles me, they regret it for the rest of their life. I'm not going out here, you know, messing around in his life for that to happen. Some people may call it karma. I don't believe in karma. I don't like the idea that at any specific point, something good or bad could happen to me just simply because of this idea of karma. I think karma's an interesting idea. I don't personally believe in it. So to me, having a belief about myself that anybody who fumbles me will regret it for the rest of their life is just an idea I like to have about myself. The majority of the time, you're not going to necessarily see those beliefs reflected back at you, right? Your beliefs are there to make you feel comfortable living your life and existing as a person in your life. And so simply believing that I am amazing and wonderful enough that the loss of me would stick with someone forever is a high self-esteem, right? And I don't think there's anything wrong with thinking that about yourself. It is a little bit dark feminine, right? Like, it's not love and light, you know? Like, yeah, you're sort of having an idea in your head that like no one's gonna be the same after you and it's not gonna be in a good way. And that's a little bit dark, and I'm okay with the dark feminine, right? Like, I'm okay with having a self-esteem that is high, that when someone hurts me or harms me in some way, that they don't get away with it, right? Like, I'm not giving them love and light necessarily. I'm giving them a little bit of a dark assumption for them. For me, it's great assumption. For them, it's a little bit of a dark assumption, and that's fine. But I personally don't think that any of the thoughts that you have inside your head are manipulating anyone around you. You are the only one who exists in your reality. That's it. Only you. And so what does it matter what you think going on in your mind? I don't think there's a thing in the world wrong with that. So if you've never used these Dennis Gross Daily Peels, the first pad, like the first cloth, is the chemical peel. And so you're supposed to leave that on for 2 minutes, and then you come in with the neutralizer, and neutralize the chemical peel so that you aren't eating through the skin on your face. It's a little bit spicy as I'm getting used to it, but once I get used to it, it calms down. They make like a gentle formula. So this is the universal daily peel. This is like medium spice. The gentle formula is gonna be less spice, and then there's an extra strength, which is gonna be more spice. But these do a great job, I think. I've always had good skin, with the exception that my skin gets red. I don't mind a little redness. That's no problem for me. But chemical peels are a great way to decrease texture on your face. All right, now going back in with the snail mucin. Take 2 on the snail mucin. What are your thoughts about that? Do you feel like you're manipulating anyone when you have thoughts that are favorable about you? Like, let's not even think dark feminine, right? Like, that's a more extreme belief that I've chosen for myself. Let's think just in general that, like, one of the ones that I like to think for myself is that I'm the hottest girl in the room. Like, whatever room I'm in, I'm gonna be the hottest woman. And that's a fun belief to have, because it promotes confidence, it promotes exuberance, it promotes presence in the moment and enjoyment of the moment, instead of, you know, not having that belief and thinking like, oh my God, everybody looks so good, they're so much prettier than me, they're so much hotter than me, you know, whatever the thoughts are that are not favorable to you. Like, why would you, like, you wouldn't tell your best friend those things. Why would you think them about yourself? It's a lot more fun to just think like, I'm the hottest in the room. Like, whatever room I'm in, it's me. I mean, it's me, clearly. And, you know, that's not manipulating anyone else around you to have a belief like that about yourself. It's not actually going out there and making anyone less anything, right? Or like having a belief that everyone that you're attracted to is way more attracted to you. That's kind of like being the hottest one in the room, right? This is my tretinoin and other actives, azelaic acid and niacinamide. So tretinoin, azelaic acid, and niacinamide, I get this from Curology, and I have been for several years. So like having a belief that anybody that you come into contact, if you are attracted to them, like they are obviously attracted to you and like way more. That is a fun belief to have. Is it manipulating anyone to think that you're attractive to the people that you like? No. Why would that be a bad thing? Having confidence that you can attract a mate that is desirable to you is a good thing. Like that's not anything negative. You've got to get out of this mindset that having a high self-esteem equals arrogance. It is not. It is not the same thing. And also, I'm not going around telling people in the world what my internal thoughts are. I'm not out here outwardly expressing these thoughts. These are beliefs that I choose to think inside my noggin about myself that are beneficial to me, and there's no reason not to think them. They make me feel valuable and worthy. This is the La Roche-Posay Cicaplast Balm B5. I got a little baby one of this to try out. I like it quite a bit. It's very soothing, and since I just did a chemical peel and my skin is getting used to chemical peels and it's a little bit spicy right now, I'm going in with something that is quite soothing. Ultra repairing soothing balm. I'm almost out of this, but I think when I repurchase it, I'll get a big one because I like it a lot. Let's start with that amount, see if that does what we need it to do. Oh, it's like a hug, like immediately soothed the somewhat of burning on my face. Oh, I don't know if I said, but in previous vlogs, I had talked about some medication changes and some other things that I think are responsible for regaining some weight that I had lost over the summer. And, you know, I talked about how I have a belief in medication because of my, you know, indoctrination as a medical provider, and how in general, I don't have to change that belief as long as I can make the belief work for me. So I worked with my medical providers and I have changed some of those medications and gotten back on some medications that I had stopped, and now the weight is dropping right off again because, again, I have beliefs that are supportive of that. So I'm down 10 of the pounds that I had gained as a result of those medication changes. I'm down 10 of those pounds, and I wanted to share that with you because when you have quote-unquote setbacks in your weight loss journey, you really need to have a mindset of whatever it looks or feels like out here, like, it's still working for me. So even though I gained some of the weight back, I got back on track by addressing my beliefs and working within my 3D to have a situation where my beliefs are favorably supported, and now the weight is coming off again. So, you know, things will happen and change and move around in your life, and your weight may fluctuate, but I don't ever perceive that as failure. I don't ever perceive that as like negative conclusion about myself. Like I never say like, oh, I can't, I can't have the body of my dreams, or oh, I can't lose the weight I want to. I never ever talk to myself like that. I'm gonna put some Aquaphor healing balm, what is this? Healing balm stick. Yeah, the Aquaphor healing balm stick on my lips. Really like this product. It's not for your lips, but I really like it as a lip product. So that's primarily how I use it. Anyhow, boom. So if your weight loss journey does one of these on the way down and then you climb back up a little bit, it doesn't mean that everything is over. You have information that you can gain from that, and you can check it against your beliefs. And if you need to adjust your beliefs, you can, or if you need to adjust your embodiment of your current beliefs, you can. So in my case, I needed to adjust my embodiment of my current beliefs, meaning I have a belief that certain mental health medications have a side effect of weight gain. I have a belief that my body responds really well to GLP-1 medication and I lose weight really easily with it, and I don't lose weight really easily without it. That's not necessarily a favorable belief if I am not using it, but if I have that belief and then embody the person who has easy access to it, then it's not an unfavorable, then it's not a problematic belief. So I needed to adjust my embodiment of my current beliefs rather than necessarily adjusting my beliefs. I have a general belief that all the resources that I need for weight loss are available to me effortlessly, rather than, because that to me is an easy belief for my brain to be like, we can get on board with that, versus my body just naturally wants to be skinny. I grew up obese. I was the fat kid in school before I knew what fat even meant. I would have probably a much more difficult time changing a belief that I've had since I was consciously aware of being fat at probably 4 or 5 years old, versus having a belief that all of the resources that I need to meet my body goals are available to me effortlessly. I feel like that is a much easier belief for my brain to latch onto. I don't necessarily have to go in and dig up that old belief and try to change it. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Hope it makes sense. Last thing to do is I'm gonna put on another eye gel patch. I really enjoyed that the other night. If you watched my last vlog, I used the coral pink one. This one is the sapphire wave one. I have lotion on my hands, so I'm gonna get some scissors to open this and I'll be right back. All right, sapphire blue. This one has pink sparklies in it. Look how pretty. Again, I don't think these are imparting any sort of big effect on my under eyes, but I think that they are a really pleasant experience to have, and therefore I like using them. On me, they do tend to slip and slide a little bit until they dry down. That's okay, I just keep scooting them back up. And I'm using the viewfinder as a mirror because I do not have a mirror out here with me. All right, boom, eye mask heaven. So I've made 7 long vlogs. I personally love really long vlogs, but I'm gonna try and do the next 7 as shorter vlogs and see how that goes. Maybe 20 to 30 minutes, a little bit more standard of a length for the usual vlog. If you have any opinions about length of vlogs, please share it in the comments. I am just experimenting at this stage on YouTube because I know who I want to help and I know what kind of videos I like to watch, and so I'm trying to marry those two things, and I need to know if I'm on the right track with you. So if you are in my audience liking science-based law of assumption manifesting content, please do share what your preferences are, because I will pay attention to that and I will take that into consideration when I'm making my choices about how I approach YouTube. So that's number 1. And number 2, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I want to say thank you for spending your time with me. I intend that you got useful information out of this video, and it is my goal to monetize my YouTube channel by the end of March 2025. That is one of my first quarter New Year's resolutions. So if you want to help with that, you can share, like, comment, subscribe, engage with the video so that YouTube knows it's valuable and they will share it with more people who know that we need to take the woo-woo out of manifesting. So I thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one.